Hi, so we are 5 o'clock in Doha. Hello to anyone who's going to be joining me live. If you're watching this as a recording, that's fine as well. So this is going to be some breath, a nice gentle yin practice, and a little bit of meditation at the end. The playlist is on the Facebook page as well, and I'll give you a cue when we're going to start that. So we all start that at the same time, and we're all working to the same rhythm, so as to speak. So this practice is really to help you recover from an illness or a sickness. So we're not going to do anything that's too intense, but it's going to give you a chance to make an inquiry or a curiosity into your body, how you're feeling and what's going on, where you are in your recovery, how far have you got to go to reach your optimum. Now, when you've been ill, a few things come into play. Generally, your body has a lot of inflammation in it, and what comes with inflammation is stress and cortisol. So we want to do things that are going to combat those instances and bring something into effect to help you feel better. The best way to combat inflammation is to release, relax, and de-stress. And that will, again, address any issues of cortisol. So if you've been ill, there's probably lots of bits and pieces happening in your body. You might feel that you have a temperature, you might be aching, you might have some mucus flowing around inside your system. So these are the sort of things that we will address and help you work with. Let's just go over and have a quick look at the props to start with. So, again, as it's a nice flow for you to work with when you're coming into recovery from illness, then it's super easy for you to do in bed as well. You don't need to go anywhere. And generally when you're in bed, you've got some cushions, some blankets around, so all of that can be used as props. Ideally a bolster. If you can't get hold of a bolster, then anything that's kind of rolled up and put into a kind of backpack type shape is really useful. And it's also good to have a few different thicknesses, because the different poses you'll get into in different ways, you'll feel different on different days, and you want to be supported in different ways as well. So we're working a little bit between yin and restorative. When we're in a restorative pose, we don't really want to have a sensation or feel anything in our bodies. When we're in a yin pose, we are looking for some kind of sensation or stretch or creation of space. But I'll talk about that a little bit more when we're in the poses. So, you won't need a strap today. I'll get rid of that. And 2 blocks may be useful, or something that's got a little bit of solidity to it. Maybe a couple of thick books, but just something that gives you a little bit more height if the floor feels a little bit further away. Or if you don't have blocks, a couple of very firm cushions can work just as well. So there's those options. You will have to excuse me because I am still recovering. I do feel I have a bit of heat or fever in my body and a sore throat, so there's a bit of a cough as well. And I have got my ever-present cup of tea. If you worked with me online in COVID or in any other situation, you'll know I like to have my cup of tea nearby. So with any practice, we start with an indication to the body as to what is about to happen. Your central nervous system is always on high alert, looking for what's coming next. So we want to let your central nervous system know that what is coming next is going to be something that's really nice and you're going to enjoy it. So you can come to a nice seated position, and we want to take an external rotation through the hips. So you can either sit with your legs crossed, or if that's feeling a little bit too intense, you can lay down on your back, join the soles of your feet, and just let your knees fall out to the side. I'm going to indicate to you now is the time for everybody to start their playlist. And I've just started mine, so I've got it gently in the background. Get into your comfortable position, making sure your hips have an external rotation. Close off your eyes and just let your body settle in and remember what it's about to do. I'm just going to turn my speaker on over here. Good. Now, whichever position you've chosen to be in, keeping your eyes closed, just gently notice your breath coming in through your nose and encouraging the breath to come down towards your belly, not keeping it up in the chest, but bringing it down towards your belly. So your belly softens and expands, allowing the pressure in your belly, the pressure against your soft organs, to be released. This is a first indication to your body that you're relaxing. If you think of how a baby breathes, a baby uses its belly to softly expand up and down rather than breathing into its chest. And when you're asleep, that's probably how you're feeling as well. You're probably breathing into your belly. So that's what you're going to be doing now. Allow yourself to feel completely supported in your body, whether you're sat up. Allow your hips to support you, your thighs to be gentle and soft. And if you're laying down, invite the support of the bed or the floor that you're laying in to connect with your spine. Now, as you start to feel the expansion into your belly, feel the expansion increase into the ribs, into the chest. This flow, or the yin part of the flow, is going to be focused around the lungs, the heart, the throat. We want to improve the breath so we can oxygenate the blood as much as we can. When the breath starts to improve, you start to take more oxygen into your system. So with your eyes closed, just beginning to regulate your breath. A nice even and equal inhale, maybe for 4 or 5. And a nice equal and even exhale for 4 and 5. Start to connect to the sensation and the feeling that your lungs are opening up. Your lung meridian line is beginning to open up as you bring a conscious attention to the movement of your breath in your lungs, your side ribs, the back of your lungs. When you haven't been breathing properly, maybe because you've been sick, there'll be an emotional stagnation that's held in your body as well. And try and let your breath go a little bit deeper, a little bit longer. And notice if any thoughts or feelings come up. And try not to think about them or look at them for too long. That's the emotional stagnation. Just start to let that pass through, and as you exhale, breathe out any heaviness. As you inhale, start to bring clarity. Allow yourself to have a digital free space. So of course you've got to use your phone or your computer, whatever it is you're watching this on. Maybe if you've got a watch, take your watch off, put it to the side so you're not disturbed by any beeps or vibrations. And just make sure anyone else in the house knows this is what you're doing, and perhaps try not to disturb you for the next 40 minutes or so. Good. Now we've taken the time we need for our bodies to remember that we're going to do something that's calming, something that's peaceful, and we can start to relax. The first pose we're going to do is melting heart pose, Anahatanasana. Puppy pose, you may know it as well. So we're going to move into the first pose. And again, whether you're on the bed or on the floor, whether you've got a mat or you're on the carpet, it doesn't matter. I'll set up the pose as if you had the props. You're going to bring 2 blocks ahead of you to the medium setting. So yoga blocks, you can go high, medium and low. Come to the, or actually test which one suits you, but I'm coming to the medium. You're going to come onto your all fours, make sure your hips stack nicely above your knees, bring your elbows onto those blocks And then just let your heart melt all the way down. Now your palms can join and rest behind you. You can flatten the palms, and maybe your head reaches all the way down. Maybe those blocks are too high. You may need to put them lower. Maybe you want them higher. Now, if you don't have blocks, the other option is to bring your bolster in. You bring your bolster to the top of the mat. Again, you bring your elbows onto the bolster, join the palms, and you melt the heart down to here. Again, make sure the hips are stacked over the knees. Okay? If you don't have a bolster, still no need to worry. You don't actually need any props. Make sure the hips are stacked above the knees. That's the most important part. You can bring the hands all the way forward, and then you just rest either the forehead, the chin, or maybe if you've lots of flexibility, the chest. You can hold onto the side of the mat, but this is not an active pose. This is a very gentle pose. There shouldn't be any feelings of agitation. You shouldn't be feeling anything is stretching too much. So if you don't have any props, you literally just lay the hands down and rest the forehead, and that's enough. Okay? I'm going to do mine with my bolster today, and we're going to be here for 4 minutes. So I've kept my watch on because I need the timer. And we're going to go for 3 minutes actually. So make sure the hips are above the knees. Rest the hands either in the prayer or on the back of the back. And then come back to your breath, making sure the mouth is closed. And you're going to have a different experience of breath. It's going to be a little bit more of an effort to get the breath to the belly, but go ahead and try. Finding some nice stillness, no fidgeting, and try and keep your mind very much here. This pose can feel intense because we're opening the heart, which is the seat of emotions. The element of the heart is fire. When the heart is on fire, of course, it's going to warm up the lungs. When you have inflammation, when you have a temperature, when you've been ill, your lymphatic system is also going to become quite sluggish. So doing a nice gentle practice, moving the body into different places, helps the flow of the fluids through your body. Now, this can also be described as energy, chi, prana. All of those words describe the material, the matter, the energy that moves through your body, and you have so much fluid in your body. You can imagine when a kettle that has water in, when you put it on to boil, the more water you have, the longer it takes to heat up. So that's why it's important to stay hydrated all the time as well when you have a temperature. And just making sure there's nothing in your body that is stressful or painful. Good. Just a few more breaths here. Okay. Slowly pushing into your elbows or pushing into your hands, lift your chest all the way up. And then you're going to roll onto your hips. Take your legs ahead of you. We're going to move to the next pose straight away. We're not going to do any rebounds in between the poses. The next pose is supported fish pose. So we're continuing with the opening through the front body, but we're going to take it a little bit further this time. We're going to start opening the lungs as well. So again, options. Ideally, if you have a bolster, you're going to bring your bolster in behind your hips. As you inhale, you're going to recline over your bolster. Your arms are going to come above the bolster, and you're going to rest palms facing up with the elbows bent. That's your fish pose. If you don't have a bolster, no problem. Maybe you have that rolled up blanket or rolled up cushions into some kind of bag to create that shape. And again, you're rolling over it. The important thing is that the arms are opening. The arms are coming above the extension of the spine. The elbows are bent and the palms are facing up. Maybe you don't have one of those. What are you going to do next? You can find a cushion from the sofa or a pillow and just roll it up into a little bit of a rolled shape. Push that into the hips and you can roll over that. You can see the shape we're looking for, opening up through the front of the chest. And remember, bring those arms up and over, bending at the elbows. Now the legs can be straight, or you can bring the soles of the feet together and butterfly them. It's your choice. Now again, this should not be overly intense anywhere in the body. So if that extension of the spine is too much, then you can bring a blanket in so the head doesn't have so far to travel. And the head can then rest on the blanket. I'll just give you a moment to set up your choice of how you want your pose to be, which props you're using. Now make sure you're super comfy because we're going to be in this one for 5 minutes. Okay? I'm going to go with my soft bolster, I think. Once we're all settled in, closing off your eyes again, the mouth is closed and you're breathing through the nose. You're encouraging the breath still down through the front of the body and you're using as much of the lungs as you can to expand. Consciously slowing the breath down so that you can complete the exhale. Maybe at this stage you're able to extend the exhale even further than the inhale. Now, when you're in these poses, take the opportunity to be curious about how you are feeling in your body. Take the opportunity to notice in the stillness what's going on, what's happening. Is there any particular part of you that feels a little tighter, a little hotter, maybe a little bit more achy? And this changes with age as well. Sometimes the older we get, there's more life that we've experienced. We're a little bit more worn out. It can take a little bit longer to recover. Allow yourself to rest. When you feel your mind begin to wander off, just gently draw it back into your practice. Draw it back into the experience of your body. Take advantage of the opportunity to go a little bit deeper into yourself. Start to feel the space you're creating with the breath around your heart, around the lungs. And give yourself permission for any of the emotions that come up through the stagnation. Just let them go. Don't allow anything to disturb your peace. We're over halfway through the pose. Allow your body the full permission, staying in the pose. It's a very open pose, so allow yourself to feel the vulnerability. Allow yourself to encourage openness, and with this comes communication. When we've been sick and we maybe haven't communicated ourselves very well because of the stagnant energy within, this pose will also allow the throat to start to open as well. Just a few more breaths here, we're coming to the end. Now bring the soles of your feet to the floor, bend your knees, roll onto your left or your right hand side, and then slowly push yourself up. Be careful with your spine. That's it. Good. You can put your bolster to the side. I seem to be surrounded by bolsters here. I think they're breeding. Let's get rid of all of that. Okay. Next pose. We're going to go back onto our prone position. So that's face down. If you have a block, grab your block. Or if you don't and you want to grab a cushion, just put those to the end of the mat. We're going to come to Sphinx pose. So we're working a little bit more into the throat now. Make sure the elbow is stacked beneath the shoulder. So not like this, but really so there's an opening up through the chest. Spread the palms, relax the glutes. Now you're either going to have the heels facing in or the heels facing out. Depends what is most comfortable for you in your hips. We're going to be here for 3 minutes, and you have the option to bring in your block and rest your head, your forehead on the block. You may think, well, I thought we were opening the throat. Well, your throat isn't just at the front, it's at the back as well. So that will give a gentle stretch to the back of the neck, or if you prefer, bring the heart forward, bring the chin up, and just stretch through the front of the neck. Close the eyes, concentrate on relaxing the lower body. And you will start to notice some sensations, some interoception in your body as you have the elbows stacked under the shoulders and you're trying to just support yourself in the joints rather than using the muscles. And when we're opening the throat, we're helping the flow of lymphatics as well, through the side of the neck, just above the collarbones. Allow yourself to feel the soft stretch, even coming down to the sternum. This allows the flow of blood to easily get to the heart. Stimulating the lung meridian line as well. That works through the arms. That's going to energize the work of the lungs, the work that you're doing with the breath. Focusing on the exhale, making it longer, soothing your system. If you want to, just for the last few breaths of the pose, you can come to seal, straightening the arms, allowing the chest to come higher, but still staying soft in the thighs, soft in the glutes. Trying not to be stimulating, just trying to be soft. And then gently exhale. Let's bring the chest all the way down to the mat. Make a little pillow with your hands and rest your forehead on your hands. We will take a little rebound here, soften the shoulders. And then push your way up. Let's come to the next pose. So, you may want a blanket under your knees. Okay. We're going to come to thread the needle, which again, it's a similar setup to the first pose we did, melting heart. You're coming to your all fours. Make sure, again, the hips are stacked above the knees. Take the left hand, the left palm is facing up. Exhale, bring the chest all the way down. So you're resting on the left shoulder here. Relax the right arm down as well. I'm going to come here for 3 minutes. Make sure the hips are high. Now again, this is nice for the body because it's almost a mini inversion. The heart is ever so slightly coming above the head. And this is going to relieve pressure in the soft organs. It's going to put a little bit of pressure and stimulation on the heart and the lungs. I'm just coming to halfway through the pose. We're working the lung meridian line here, stimulating through the arms, through the shoulders. And the lung meridian pairs with the large intestine, helping you sort through any emotional contradiction that you have. The lung tends to be associated with grief. Grief is an interesting emotion to have when you're ill because you almost grieve the loss of the time that you weren't participating in life the way you thought you were going to for the last few days or the last week. You have to find a lot of acceptance around just allowing your body to heal. You don't have to have been particularly sick. Maybe you're just a little bit tired and you're not allowing yourself the rest to recover. And even doing this practice will help you replenish the tank and maybe prevent you from getting a little bit burnt out further down the line. Just a few more breaths here. We're going to bring the chest up, release the pose, come back to your all fours and very gently inhale, come to your cow, and exhale, come to your cat. Inhale slowly and intuitively, and exhale, softly and releasing. Good. I'm going to come around the other way, so I'm still facing you. You stay where you are. We're going to come to the other side. Hips are high. Bring the right hand under the left. Drop the right shoulder down. Drop the left elbow down. Close off the eyes. Come to your thread the needle twist on the other side. This practice is ideal to do any time of the day. You can do it in the morning, the evening, maybe instead of a siesta, mid-afternoon, because it's still nice and relaxing. It down dials your central nervous system. Gives everything a chance to have a break. Your digestive system, your somatic system, the limbic system, the respiratory system, cardiovascular, all these bits and pieces that work in your body, they're all connected and they work together. We're just halfway through the pose. Last few breaths here. And then gently coming up, come back to your all fours and take a few cat and cows through your spine. Nice and gently. Good. Then come, turn your body round. Now I'm going to go to a supine pose. So supine is the face facing up. If you had a blanket under your knees, you can put that to the side. And you're going to need either your bolster or your block. And we're going to go a little bit further down the body, working with the fire element still. We're going to do a supported bridge. So again, there's a few options here. You need to bring your back all the way down. Bring the soles of the feet to the mat, knees are bent. Just make sure you can almost feel the heels. Push into your heels and let your hips come all the way up. Then maybe with one of your blocks, you're going to pop your block under your sacrum. And just make sure you've got it in the right place where the hips feel nice and supported. There's no pinching in the lower back. And again, choose your height. The medium is ideal. If that's too much, You go down to that low height, or maybe you can bring a bolster in if you feel the block is a little bit too stimulating. And again, if you don't have either of these props, by now you know you can build this up with folded blankets, with cushions, with pillows, and you just snuggle that bolster or those cushions and pillows underneath. Now you can stay like this with the knees bent, or you can see how it feels to straighten the legs. Bring the arms to the side, palms are facing up. Get the arms a little bit away from the body so there's a bit of space. Personally, that pinches my lower back. I don't like it so much, so I tend to bring the knees in. Close off the eyes here. I'm just going to be 3 minutes here. So again, this is another little inversion, bringing the hips higher than the heart a little bit higher than the head. Another option is that you straighten your legs and you bring the legs up above you, waterfall pose. Now this is forcing the pressure of the blood flow. The pooling of the fluids will come into the hips, into the pelvis. Still working with your breath, expanding through the lungs. Really allowing yourself to have a conscious connection to your breath. Noticing very much how the breath feels. There is practically magic in your body when you learn how to tap into it. How to transform the energy from one place to another, from one sensation to another. Just keep asking yourself to tap into the magic that is existing inside of you. And as you're here, stay connected through all areas of your body, noticing anything that's clenching, that's tense. Now, if you have that behavior in your body, you're disconnecting, disassociating, disempowered. So when you start to release, relax, let everything breathe through you. You connect to a deeper confidence. Just a few more breaths here. Now push your feet into the mat, bring the hips up. And just release anything that's underneath the hips. Bring the hips back down, the knees into the chest, and gentle rolls from side to side, releasing your spine. Good. When you're ready, just come up to seated. Let's find the meditation pose again. Gently breathe in and breathe out, keeping the eyes closed, but connecting deeply into the sensations that you're feeling. Now, just for a few breaths here before we move into meditation, bring the right arm behind you, bring the left hand to the right knee, and just come to a very gentle twist. Keep the eyes low or closed. Relax your shoulders. Just a little bit of mobility through the spine. And then the other way. Turn to the left, take the right hand to the left knee, the left hand behind you, and use that as leverage to move gently into your twist, feeling the spine, squeezing through the vertebrae, squeezing through the discs. Turn the head to look over your shoulder. Relax your jaw. And then coming back to face the front. Closing off the eyes. Just connecting into the breath again. Staying in your meditation pose. And with your gentle meditation, become very, very aware of your breath. Become very, very aware and connected to the top of the function of the breath. Feel yourself be every single part of the inhale and every single part of your exhale. As you inhale the oxygen, almost visualize that nutritious material being taken all over your body, being introduced to every single cell, the breath of life, the power of healing. The knowledge and the ability that you can and you will feel better. You can and you will feel energized. By slowing down allows the body to have more energy to recover and feel better. And maybe when you do feel better, you stay connected to the sensation, to the feeling of curiosity inside yourself, and you don't run away again, ignoring the signs, skipping sleep, skipping nutrition, pushing yourself. And any thoughts that come to you in this meditation where you maybe feel that you want to blame yourself, you want to take yourself down, you want to point the finger, resist the urge, don't do that. Just forgive yourself for maybe not acknowledging that sometimes you need to come first. Sometimes it's okay to give yourself permission. And on the other end, come into play. You can rest, but don't rot. Stay connected, stay aware. There is about 4 minutes left in this playlist, and I invite you to come to your Shavasana, to lay down, and to continue listening to your playlist in your Shavasana. And when that last song finishes, which is a prayer, it's lovely to lay and listen to it. That's the end of your practice. I will leave you now. Thank you for joining. I hope this has helped you feel a little bit better.